Good morning, No Man's Sky fans, travelers, and interlopers. Welcome to the 17th episode of NMS's Life, where No Man's Sky isn't just a game, it's a way of life. I'm Cloud Runner, and with me as always is my friend and fellow host, DG Squared. Good morning, DG.
Good morning, Cloud Runner. Good morning, everyone. How are you all today?
I'm doing well as always, my dude, and there's a lot going on with No Man's Sky, and a lot of hype is being built around the latest development update, which featured a survey, a feedback survey to Hello Games that asked players what they're currently enjoying the most, as well as thoughts on the future of No Man's Sky. So based on that theme, DG and I would like to open up the lines to listeners, to people in chat, and anyone on Twitter, and hear what your thoughts are on the game, its current state, and anything that you would hope to see in the future. So let us know in chat if you'd like to join in to call into the show, and we'll send you a Discord link so that you can do that. We'll try to keep the calls to maybe 2 to 5 minutes each so that we can get more than one person in if possible. But let's do it. Let's talk some No Man's Sky. And actually, I'm going to start with my pal DG and just ask the top question. What are you enjoying the most right now with No Man's Sky?
Oh, boy. Right now, actually, I started a new account about 2 weeks ago, and I've been enjoying the crap out of it. I haven't even played my other accounts. They're kind of broken anyways. The saves don't work quite right. A few bugs here and there. And I was getting really disappointed, but I started a new save so that I can, enjoy what everyone else is enjoying with multiplayer. And it's been the most fun I've had in probably since Atlas Rises, the last update.
Yeah,
romping around the universe, doing all kinds of stuff. It's fantastic. And they've made changes to how the flow of the storyline and the missions go. It's actually not nearly the grind it once was.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of fun. A lot more fun now.
Yeah, actually, I find it a lot easier now to make units as well. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. But yeah, to like you say, to take away the grind of finding a farm, building a farm, that always seemed to be the number one way to make units. And the way with No Man's Sky Next is there's so many different ways to make units. I mean, with your frigate missions, of course, buying and trading and all that stuff, and farming as well. But they've really opened it up and given it variety with this update. And I know there was some questions in there, regarding exploration, zoology, what's everyone's favorite thing to do, and stuff like that. What's still your number one favorite thing to do in the game?
Ship hunting. I love to ship hunt.
Didn't even hesitate.
Never gets stale for me.
Yeah.
Never even gets stale for me.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I love to ship hunt. I'm always picking up a new ship. Always ship hunting for a new S-class. There's always the next one that that has my interest. Making money, very easy. Just by scanning animals, you get tons of nanites and money. With the new installment of multiplayer, products can be passed on to other players without even having to do any of the work, for that matter.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of people pop in on my stream or pop in on when I'm playing, and just have, all of a sudden I look down and there's like a bunch of igniters in my inventory. I'm like, where do these come from?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's sell them. Let's have some fun. So it's really easy to make money and to help others. It's been a blast, actually. Just running around all over the place. Scanning creatures is fun, except for the birds. They're still really tough to scan.
They are.
I'm not sure if anybody else has that issue.
Yeah.
But you make tons of nanites just scanning.
Yeah.
The grind of having to go around and collect 15 at a time, or 30 or whatever, that no longer exists. You can still do that, but you don't have to do that anymore. You can, just by claiming systems and exploring, you're earning money in nanites. Rewards are greater for nanites, I've noticed as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mission journey milestones, they give off like 150 to 200 nanites for completing a milestone. Just simply see nada and polo.
Yeah. Yeah, they just hand them out like candy now.
Yeah, yeah. They made the game a little bit easier in terms of making some of the in-game currencies, um, and at the same time, they've made it just tough enough to make it.
Yeah.
There's still dangers. You still want to get your hazard protection.
Yep. There's still
you
a
still want to
grind.
go through all the grind of getting all the things.
Yeah.
But it's just not as hard anymore. So
Yeah.
it's very much a good thing.
Not as
Very
hard
much a good thing.
and enjoyable to do it with friends and other players and stuff like that as well. But let's get CaptFrantic in here. I think he wants to join us as well and discuss some No Man's Sky. So we've got our first caller. Woohoo!
Definitely, I'd love to speak with Cap.
We'll get him into the chat and see what he has to say. And basically, I mean, I just want to revolve to the viewers again. I just want to let you guys know there was a survey from Hello Games. I'm sure everyone has done it. If you haven't done it, it was part of the development news update for Update 6. And a lot of it just revolved around No Man's Sky in its current state. But there was a lot to do with the future of NMS, and they discuss future updates and things like that. So I would really like to hear what everyone is not only enjoying in the game, but what they want to see come in the future of the game. So Captain, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us, my dude.
Welcome, Captain.
Right, the echo, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, hi guys. How's things?
Good, man.
Hi,
How's
Captain.
it going?
Yeah, it's good to talk, DG. We've never sort of spoken voice to voice before, as it were.
No, I don't believe you were on the night we all joined up together with Genetic Code and Nikab. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, I was there in the chat, and I think you thought I was the other guy that was there. I can't remember his name now. But yeah, I saw that. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. It was great having you guys drop in on me.
Nickard's great. He's really funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love Nikab. I haven't seen enough of him these days.
Yeah, he did sort of go dark for a while for spirit reasons, but he's still about. He's still about, especially with old Cody.
Oh, yeah. Those two guys they're like brothers. They're always stomping around the universe together.
Indeed.
So the $1 million question, what do you love about the game most?
Oh, wow, that's a tough one. Well, I've been a lover of open world games before open world games were a thing. So back in the day of the Spectrum 48K when Elite first came out, that sort of opened my mind to the possibilities of PC gaming, of computer gaming, and then the open world scene started, and I guess you could look at Borderlands and Skyrim, and of course going back to Morrowind. Morrowind blew my mind. Morrowind was the game that really set me off on open world games, and I've been addicted to them ever since. Now, No Man's Sky is like an ultimate open world game. I mean, granted, we can discuss this later, but there's not as much content in it as I would like. As I say, I can explain that a little bit later, but in regards to the things you can do, and you can make up your own story, you can make your own objectives, and there's not just one galaxy to do it in, there's 256 galaxies to do it in if you want to.
Yeah.
So the possibilities of open world play, emergent gameplay, is so prevalent with No Man's Sky that literally my catchphrase is, "What do you mean there are other games? What other games?"
Yeah.
I'm addicted to this game.
Yeah.
Well, join the club. There's a lot of us that haven't played any other games except No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I, like you, I've got friends. All the new games come out. Hey, yeah, come pick up this game. You always say, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll pick it up," and then never do.
Yeah.
There's always something better to do on No Man's Sky, it seems.
That's right. I mean, my poor Steam account, I've got like 15 games that I've bought since No Man's Sky came out. I just haven't played. I haven't even installed them.
Yeah, that happens with me too. I'll end up buying a new game, and even if I do get into it, I'll play it for an hour tops, and then I find myself getting bored and wanting to go back to No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the thing with other games is that they do have a limited lifespan. Sure, you can play them in various ways. Like, for instance, I've I would start a game like, let's say, Doom 3. I would start a game on easy mode, I play it through easy mode, then I play it through on normal mode, then I play it through on hard mode, and then I play it through on hard mode without taking any damage. But even then, there's a limited lifespan to a game. But with No Man's Sky, you can just go in and there's always something to do if you've got the imagination
Yeah.
to produce your own objectives.
Yeah, No Man's Sky feels like Endgame right out of the gate. Like it doesn't even feel like most games.
Yeah.
Even a game like Grand Theft Auto or Skyrim or whatnot. I mean, there's a story, there's side quests, there's things to do, and there's things to do in No Man's Sky as well. But I always find that in those open world games, that the end game is where everyone wants to get, because that's where it really opens up, and you can do whatever you want to do. You can kind of travel off the beaten path and do your own thing. No Man's Sky allows you to do that right off the bat. You just pretty much start and do your own thing.
Pretty much. I mean, once you've fixed your ship,
Yeah.
and you're out in space, and you've got the ability to warp. Yeah, it's just like do what you like immediately, almost immediately within an hour. It's like do what you want.
Yeah, it feels like Endgame. Like you're just like, what do I do? Like whatever I want, I guess.
Exactly.
You know?
And the storyline is set up so that you don't have to follow it quite so linear.
Yeah.
You can do a little bit and then stop doing it and do whatever you want for a while and pick it up a little bit later on when you feel like it. It's not like where you have to continue on with a storyline in order to progress to the next section, thus making the grind. It's a very shortened version of it. You only need a couple of things to get yourself going, and then you can just travel around the cosmos.
Yeah.
Well, basically, you can play the whole game and completely ignore the story. I mean, you can do that with Skyrim or Oblivion and games like that too, but not in the same way that you can with No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the story, and I really like to see where it's going to go. But literally, you could just play the whole game forever and ignore the story entirely. Well, to a great extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, in fact, I know people who they have yet to finish the story, or even the Artemis quest, for that matter, or the Path. They just, they've gotten what they like out of the game, and they just sort of go around with what they have, and they don't need anything more because the story, it neither helps nor hinders you. It's just part of the lore, and I think it's one of the beautiful things about this game is you can take it as you like. You can make the decisions based on what some of the limited answers that they have. It's they've done a really good job in incorporating it into a game that is so open world. You can take it or leave it.
It's so open world that the story seems optional. Like, what game do you know of where the story mode is optional? Like, you don't you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to get through it. Like, it's there if you want to explore the lore, but like you say, if you don't want to, if you just want to build things, if you just want to explore, you can put the story on the back burner and just never play it at all, even if you don't feel like it.
Well, there you go. There's someone in chat now. Ozzy. Hi, Ozzy. I've played since day one and never finished any of the storyline.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. It can be done very easily. They've done a great job with the game, incorporating all that. And, you may not like the storyline. You might just want the Atlas Path. They've done a really good job with it. The only missions that are somewhat necessary are the base missions,
right?
And that is only to get the exocraft. And once you have it, you don't even really need to complete it.
That is true. Again, it's optional, but the game opens up so much. Once you've completed all the base quests, it's kind of essential, but you can get by without it. But you'd be very limited in what you can do. You're right.
Yeah,
and I think eventually the craftable recipes will probably still be able to get out of some of those manufacturing centers and operations centers.
Yeah, sure.
It just takes a little bit longer with the RNG game of processing all those different recipes through.
Right.
But yeah, they've made it so you can acquire any of those things through multiple different sources. You don't just get it from doing a mission. You can also achieve the same goal just just by romping around the universe and exploring all the different structures and buildings and everything they have to offer.
You're absolutely right. The options available for players to do a number of things, and you were talking about money making earlier. There's just so many options that it's almost overpowering. Unless you get into it and get 50 hours in, so you're used to the game mechanics, you're used to what you can do and what's available. There are so many options that it's not overpowering, but it is a large amount of options. And that's one of the game's strengths, I believe.
I agree. It's just all those options of, it's like, I always give that analogy of, I know sandbox is a term that people use for open world games, but I mean it as a literal sandbox. And that's what No Man's Sky is. It's just, they dump you into a big pile of sand and they give you a little shovel and a pail and they say, have some fun, do whatever you want. You know,
as you say, everything else is optional. Yeah. Even the multiplayer is optional.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
I'd like them to build on multiplayer.
Well,
I'd like them to grill a great deal on the multiplayer. I think it's very bare bones at the moment. Yeah, granted, we're not globes looking at each other as globes anymore.
Well, that leads us to our second question, cool. Which I do want to ask is, of course, what everyone's enjoying in No Man's Sky. But like you say, that was part of the survey, was if we would rather see player models rather than orbs. So what are things? Obviously, that's one of the things. But what are some other things you'd like to see in the future of No Man's Sky?
Well, without wanting to go down the traditional sort of multiplayer online experience, pointed goals that multiplayer groups can attain together, like raids, like dungeons. I can't really think off the top of my head about anything else other than I would like to see, and this is a bit controversial, but I'd like to see in-game hubs.
In-game hub.
So there's like social meeting places, but they're actually organized within the game.
I get you.
The game structure itself provides that for you.
So like a longer version of the community events, in other words.
In regard to multiplayer play, maybe that's a possibility. But I'm thinking more about missions, rather than just the brief, to be kind, fetch quests that we get with the current community events. But in regard to a hub, I'm purely just thinking of a large space station, several large space stations scattered throughout the galaxy that are provided by the game for players to just meet at. Now, I know that's difficult because we're looking at currently a 4-player team-based experience and a 16-player maximum per server. So I don't know how they would tackle that.
Well, it's
just briefly, Ozzy mentioned cities as well. And that, I believe, is something that may be coming because there's a guy involved with Hello Games that is researching how to create procedural cities.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, cities would be cool too.
Very interesting. Yeah. And there's already been the start of cities being birthed, since we could build together and build multiple bases on the same planet. I know there's a couple of... there's a couple of hubs that have got multiple bases, and when I say multiple, I mean 10 or more. Amino Hub has got Amino Prime. The Galactic Hub, I believe, over 100 people came and built on Lenin. It's been done in the Cafe 42. There's a little ambassador place where there's about a dozen people that have built a base on one single planet. It's happening all over the game in various little hubs and communities spread out around Euclid Galaxy, which is quite funny because it was a little bit more spread out just before the update. A lot of people had traveled to Eisentam, and there was quite a collection of people out there. And it seems ever since the multiplayer was introduced, everybody wants to come back to Euclid and play in Euclid.
Yes.
I've seen very few people wanting to play in Eisentam, even though Eisentam is a beautiful galaxy, and there's been some great infrastructure already started to be set up by a lot of different people. I know the Twitch community, they had their own little hub out there, and they had things very, very nicely situated.
That's right. Yeah,
That's
on
everything,
PS4.
squids and multi-tools, and yeah, it was great. Everybody was having a great time finding that stuff.
On the same now, I mean, I've travelled to the centre just to be at the centre, but I have
Yeah,
no intention of going through, even though Eisenheim is very tempting because, as you say, there are some wonderful, wonderful systems and planets to explore there, and there's a certain number of cool, hardcore NMS players that are there as well, so there's that to actually interact with. But there can be no doubt that Euclid is going to be the most populated galaxy, and if you want to interact with other players, Euclid is going to be the place to be. Currently.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the events are based in Euclid as well.
Yeah.
And
Which
on
isn't
another
that
note,
important. Which isn't that important because once you go through the portal, it does take you to Euclid.
that's right. Yeah, it seems all the community events have been in Euclid, and I've noticed something, a little bit of a trend. It's hard to tell because of the portal interference, but it seems each one of the community events, they have situated near a population of community.
Oh, really?
What I think was it week 4? I think they were near the Galactic Hub, just next door to the Galactic Hub. At one point, I think they were next to NMS Love at the center of Euclid. This last week, they're literally only 2 regions away from the Amino Hub. A couple of regions away. Yeah, they're sort of putting themselves not too far from the community growth areas.
And would you say that they're all near the core?
I don't know if they're all near the core. That's just it. I haven't checked or gone back and looked to see where my coordinates are in each of these events.
The first 3 certainly were. The first 3 quite close to the core.
Yeah. But there's a lot of hubs around the core too. There's NMS Love. I think AGT have a hub out there as well. I can't think of them all right now off the top of my head, but there's actually quite a few of them out there. Places like Galactic Hub and the Amino Hub, they're still quite a ways from the core, but they are, prevalent out there. I've definitely noticed that there are big numbers of people joining hubs, wanting to do multiplayer events.
And it's great that
games. Yeah,
and it's great that that's happening, and it's great that the game sort of provides the ability for people to do that. Sitting there with portal travel, you can go and visit somewhere, get the space station address, and you can literally go anywhere that way. But my point with a in-game hub system is that it could almost act as a launch point for future additions to the game. Within the game now, not as we've said, it's great that players can do that for themselves and create hubs.
Yeah.
But it's limited to that.
I know what you mean.
You can't launch anything from that.
Yeah, I think.
But in game, yeah.
There are games that come to mind that do that. The Elder Scrolls Online, like when you're out traveling in the wild per se, you can run into other players and whatnot. But when you go to a city, they consider that like a hub in the game, and you'll notice that it's like overpopulated with players. The Division does it as well. The Division is predominantly a solo game. You run around the city by yourself, or very much like No Man's Sky, with a group of 3 people or 4 people that you can invite to your session.
Right.
But when you go to a safe house, there's 20 people in there that are just random people, and you can either talk to them, you can group up with them, you can just ignore them. And I think in No Man's Sky, an in-game hub, if that's what you're talking, if we're on the same page, I would love to see that. I would love to be flying around or building on my planet or doing whatever I'm doing, and then when I land in a station, there's just like 10 people in there just doing their own thing, and you can either trade with them, ignore them, group up with them.
Trade with them, exactly. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I mean, and like you say, if there was more of like a community-driven event, or just any event where you need help, I can't do this on my own. You can go into a space station and just talk to other people and say, hey, who's doing this mission right now? I need some help. Or who wants to make some money? I'll pay you some money. I'll give you some stasis devices if you can help me out for a few minutes or something like that.
Or maybe a notice board you could post to.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Other players can access
next to the bounty missions. Yeah, well, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. A mission board or something like that, a bulletin board where missions, jobs, questions can be posted up there.
I'd still like to see
that would be a
in-game-
great idea. Instead of NPCs, you'd have people in those space stations.
Oh, exactly.
Real people.
Exactly. And I'd still like to see an in-game guild, like a system where you can make a guild or a faction and say, you know, we're recruiting for whatever you want to call yourselves, the space dicks, you know.
Yeah.
we want a bunch of people, and we're going to fly around. You know, maybe we're a group that focuses on role play, maybe we're a group that focuses on mining, or, you know, just
maybe we're a bunch of dicks who want to go and fight other people.
Whatever
That's
you want. Yeah,
if you want to do
PvP
that.
players, exactly.
Yeah, PvP, exactly. They can do their thing.
Yeah, just have an in-game guild, design your own logo type of deal, and away you go. You know, that would be epic.
But we're blessed in as much as this game is still evolving, and that's another wonderful aspect of it.
Absolutely.
I can't think of any other game that does. Minecraft, I guess. I hate to make the analogy.
Yeah.
But Minecraft receives constant updates, and the game is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So who knows where they're going to take it? And the encouraging aspect, it was encouraging to see them actually put out an official survey to ask players their views. That was great.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So encouraging.
And another huge patch that they're hinting on as well.
Possibly two.
Any thoughts on that one, Cap? What do you think that they're hinting towards? New ships, multi-tools, customization?
Who knows?
They've been listening to the fans, and you know, somebody brought to my attention when HG listens to the fans and they're about to drop something really big that the fans have been wanting, they tend to put it at the very bottom of the patch notes. Do you ever notice that? All the really good stuff that we've all been waiting, it always ends up on the bottom of the patch notes, and it's always a really good one. So this one could be a really big one, and I don't know what to expect. I know myself, there's been some knowledge stones that I've been holding off on making because I know the game is still changing, and you want to make sure that if you put out information like that, the mechanics don't change, right? But yeah, huge changes are coming again, and I mean the next update it's only 2 months old, and they're still coming out with huge amounts of updates and patches and so on and so forth.
Well, I've just brought up the so-called Update 7, and as you say, right on the bottom, it says this: the team is hard at work on future large updates.
Yeah, large updates.
So close to being large. And we've been talking about this, haven't we? And we've been expecting small updates now for, I don't know, 6 months.
Right.
We were expecting that, but no, they're saying, no, we still got large updates up our sleeves. And we're so close to being able to share something exciting with you that we're going to contain our excitement and keep it under wraps to make sure it's finally polished. Now, if I may share...
It gets me giddy just hearing that again, you know?
Yeah, shivers. It is. I'm getting shivers. But if I can share a sort of tinfoil hat theory that I've had since, well, back in the day.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
We got our tinfoil hats on. Let's do it.
I'm convinced that Hello Games had a fully functional build of the game before launch. And for X reason, Y reason, and Z reason, they had to cut it all back and gave us what they gave us at launch. And it's interesting to note that in one of the early preview E3 presentations, Sean got on the stage and he was showing what he described as a border war that was going on between possibly two races. I don't know. He wasn't specific, but you got two fighters fighting each other, and I'm sure that was part of the original build, part of the complete build that they had, but they had to cut it all back because of like I say, reason X, Y, and Z. And I'm convinced that element of the game is still coming. I have no other reason to believe it other than what I've just explained. But it
makes perfect sense.
No, it's sound.
They've developed the game so that it can be done. You've got missions right aboard your freighter that you can take with friends. The possibility of community events again. You may need to go into a system, warp into a system, and get into a battle with others that are fighting for the same thing. There's some really, really cool things that they can do with the multiplayer, and I believe you as well. I'm also one of those tinfoil hat believers that the game was pretty polished just before release until they had their X, Y, and Z. We don't need to get into that here.
Pushed out the door.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they had some issues, but what they gave us, you know, we true longtime lovers of this game. We loved it even when it was in its rough stage.
Yes,
and we've all watched it grow and played it and grown with it. And definitely the space battles that has got to be coming. We've yet to see any multiplayer space battles in any of the missions. I think they're building up to that, right? They had a little Sentinel kind of thing there where you had to kill some Sentinels. But I think they're getting people built up and ready for it, right? They've introduced all these frigates.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Frigates, when they introduced them, it seemed to be saying that this is something you can fly around with your friends.
Right.
And that never developed, and we all just sort of forgot about it because Next was so fantastic.
Because there was so much.
There was no need to moan.
Yeah.
But it's still true, I think, that when they first pumped it out and showed us frigates, you could see 2 or 3 character models on the frigate as it was pulling out. And it seemed to suggest that there were team-based activities around the whole concept of frigates, and maybe that's going to come as well. Maybe that will be part of the border war aspect. I hope so, because that'd be cool. As I said before, being on a freighter, trying to repair it as you're, I beg your pardon, on a frigate, trying to repair the things while you're under attack from whatever would be an amazing experience.
Oh yeah,
it would. Yeah, and having people defend, you know, help you defend your frigates and freighters and territory. It's all there. It's all there. They just haven't written it quite into the game yet. And I think we're all sort of waiting for those little things. I know myself, the ability to have multiple multi-tools along with ships is something that I hope they introduce fairly soon. There's so many wonderful multi-tools out there. I want them all.
Well, I'm searching for the moment. I don't want to talk about it because it's a bit of a challenge. And I wish there were easier ways of getting multi. I don't want it within an hour. If they laid out a scheme where they said, look, this is going to take you a month, but at the end of this month, you will get an S-Class Alien or an S-Class Experimental, whichever one you want. But at the moment, I'm going from system to system to system to system, 600 so far, looking for this S-Class multi-tool. I'm combining it. Well, I did combine it with a journey to the center. I've completed that with nothing. And now I'm on my journey to the rim, to the very edge. And I'll continue doing that. So I'm moving out, checking each station. And I bet that once I get to the rim, I still won't have my S-Class Alien rifle. So it'll be plan B then. But I'm sorry, I sort of diverted the
That's okay. That's all good. That's all what we want to hear. Your inner thoughts on what you're doing in the game.
I'll expand on it then. I also want to see easier is the wrong word. More reliable ways of finding the ship that you want, even if it involves paying 1 billion units to upgrade from an A class to an S class, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. I know. I like to be able to trade ships with other players. I think that would be really cool. You know, I have a ship that, you know, I possibly am thinking of moving on with, and I happen to trade it. Well, what if I trade it to somebody else first and take their ship and use that as ship bait? I think that would be really kind of cool to be able to, you know, meet up with people and trade not just goods, but your own possessions like ships, even multi-tools, you know, frigate, freighters, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah, why not?
You know, you might.
How would you guys feel?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, how would you guys, just going along with that, how would you feel as those things as rewards? Like, I mean, we get cosmetic items through the weeklies, like new helmets, new gear, new suits, and things like that. Imagine having a specific multi-tool that you can only get through a weekly mission.
That would be really cool.
Yes, I can get behind that.
You know,
I don't know about freighters or ships. But a multi-tool is definitely something that would be really cool, right? Like a location that is revealed if you complete the community event or what have you. Possibly a ship, you know. But I think that would be sort of left to what Cap was talking about is in-game guilds.
Right.
You know, you're able to form a guild or whatever. And then, through that guild, your team or your group of people, they have a specific ship that they want to have as that's their ship, right? Their team ship, like team colors or a jersey.
Yeah.
And it would be neat if the game could sort of make a ship like that unavailable for anybody who is not in it.
Yes,
that would be neat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like a guild base, but it's a ship. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
the Enterprise,
Yeah, and you have to be in the guild to be able to get the ship.
Exactly,
kind of thing, right?
exactly.
Awesome.
And then that location
that'd be
is
great.
unlocked for you if you're in, certain guilds, and you can access whatever ships that are appropriate for that guild.
Yeah.
Multiple guilds, multiple ships, whatever.
Maybe the class and skill or power of that ship could be based on how long the guild's been going, how successful the guild is in doing its thing. So you could even get better ships as you go along, which would encourage people to take part in guild activities. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, taking part would build the guild and improve their own ranks. Thus, C all the way up to S, as far as ships and other in-game currencies that you could acquire for such things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room to move in the multiplayer aspect. Hubs, swapping, various other player interaction. There's so much growth. I can't wait to see what they come up with. I don't even know when that patch is coming. I mean, it could be they could be promoting a huge patch that is a month away, and we would never know.
Yeah.
We'll be excited, hanging on the edge of our seat, right until that day.
Hasn't been a great journey, though. I mean, I noticed somebody else said they've played since day one. We played since day one. We saw the possibility. Granted, there was problems with the launch. We can skip past that and say that we all of us are hardcore NMS fans, and we've seen the possibilities available in the game since day one, knowing full well that, not so much from launch, but when the first update came, we were then reassured to know that they're building this game. This game is still being advanced,
always
evolved,
in development, always,
and it's been a fantastic journey.
Yeah, it has. And I think that development update 6 with that survey, I think that really just sparked the No Man's Sky community again. It just gave us that hope again that, hey, as kick-ass as No Man's Sky Next has been, they're still not done with it. And it's not just weeklies, and they're letting us know that, they're saying we got at least 2 big up.
Yeah, so they know it's going to be big.
Yeah, they don't get pumped for no reason, right? Like they deliver.
Exactly.
We're gonna keep you on the line, Cap, but I want to just shout out to the guys in chat here that are chiming in too.
Sure.
I mean, Pony's mentioned him that he'd like to see more flora and fauna in the game. I think we can always do with more of that stuff, of course.
Absolutely.
Ozzy has mentioned true multiplayer, and I think I know what he means by that, just by seeing other people, kind of like what you were mentioning too, Cap, maybe just having hubs where you can run into random players.
True multiplayer.
Yeah, and Zap...
Perhaps you could expand on that in chat.
Well, yeah, expand on it in chat if you want, Ozzy. I think I know what he means by true multiplayer. It's just open world, no more orbs. You run around and you see players. And Zap makes a really good point here too, with no ship classes. Instead of having ship classes, you have a ship that you kind of level up through the way you use it or something like that. I think that would actually be kind of cool. Games do that. I know Red Dead Redemption 2 is right around the corner, and they're talking about your bond with your horse. The longer you ride a certain horse, the quicker it'll get, the easier it'll get to ride, because you're making a bond with that horse. That would be kind of cool to do that with a ship. If you have still have a fighter or an explorer or something like that, but it's the technology.
It's like ranking up.
Yeah, the technology
you're ranking
you put
up
on
your
it.
equipment.
Yeah, exactly. Makes it better. That would be cool. I can get behind that idea.
I would like to see that as an addition to the current system, so that the improvements wouldn't be massive, but they would be gradual.
Yeah,
much like the frigates. Yes, the frigates.
Exactly.
Because the frigates you can level up.
Exactly.
Or you can just go out and buy an S class if you have the money.
Yeah, if you're a rich bastard.
Which is kind of cool, But yeah, I like the leveling up idea, especially for your personal ships. You find a crash ship somewhere, it's just a piece of junk C class, but You fix it up, you get some
fixer-upper.
experience playing, you get a few warps in. Next thing you know, your warp drive is improved, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that system for your actual character as well? So the more you mine, the more progressively you get better at mining. You get a better yield. You get quicker mining.
I wanted that
I
since
think
day one.
Carried over.
Yeah.
I think it carried to all aspects of the game with your multi-tool, your ship, your frigates, freighter, your own self exosuit. Capabilities on your exosuit.
I can see it causing problems with PvP. If you're leveled up to insane levels, then nobody's going to be able to touch you, and noobs wouldn't have a chance at even getting in on the game. So
there would have to be a cap.
Yeah.
There has to be a cap, and it has to be achievable by anybody at a reasonable rate, right? I mean, you don't want it to take 6 months to achieve a certain goal, like ranking up a ship from C to S class, but within a few weeks, you could probably do that by doing missions, warping, space battles, and so on and so forth, right? You level up different components of your ship as you use it more, making your ship more specialized in certain areas based on the gameplay that you have.
Based on your gameplay, yeah. And I would still like to see a title system based on your gameplay. Like, I would love to see DG running around, or genetic code. He would have like zoologist or another term regarding those lines above his head because of all the zoology that he does. I'd have like asteroid miner or something. You know what I mean? Like, I can't come up with cool sounding titles, but I'm sure Hello Games can.
I'd have mostly harmless.
Yeah.
Well, it's like your job or your position in the universe. Zoologist, there's like a team of scientists, right? Things like that. I think that would be a great idea, Dylan.
Yeah, and I remember actually, I first thought, that first popped into my head when I played Ray Rod's mod, because he had Journeyman beside my name, and it looked like a bar that you could fill up. Now, in this mod, that never came to fruition, but that was also one of his ideas, and it's just been on my mind ever since then. I thought, wow, we should all start out as journeyman, or whatever, rookie, beginner, lost, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and based off of your play style, unlock certain titles. I mean, they have it with the milestones, right? We can get milestones unlocked, and it'll say, you're a threat, or you're a menace, and things like that. But I want that beside my name. I want menace beside my name, or I want, like you say, zoologist, or whatever we do. I want to show multiplayer. I want to show other people what I do without actually having to tell them anything.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be really fun, to have your in-game job description or job written right on there. Explorer, scientists. Hell, you could even have like hitman or
bounty hunter,
like bounty hunter. Things like that would be kind of fun.
And maybe some titles that are really hard to unlock.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Deej, go ahead.
I was just going to say that you could build that into the guild system too. It could be incorporated into the whole guild system.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Once you join a guild, then you can start ranking up and get names based on the guild that you join, right? I know Amino works kind of like that, right? As you rank up through Amino, you're given titles and names, and so on and so forth.
Right.
It could be very similar, where you're able to rank up your own name and achieve a title that you would like in the universe.
Man, it's like a biker gang in space.
Biker gang.
Well, they've given us a new toy to play with. It looks just like a bike.
Yeah, maybe that's where they're going. Yeah.
So I don't know how much time you got left, but I would like to ask a quick question.
Give her.
Do we need more quotation marks endgame incentives to carry on playing for those of us that have 300, 400, 500, 2,000 hours into a save?
Definitely not.
You don't think so?
You don't think so?
I think it's so open right now, we can just keep on going.
Yeah.
I agree. And as I said, we can create our own incentives now. But for instance, with the money, having a cap at 4.5, once you get 1.5 billion, you're done. There's no reason to get any more money, or even any more nanites after you're done with your multi-saw. Now, if there was something to spend that money on, as I said, maybe use that money, $1 billion to put 10 slots on your ship, $1 billion to upgrade from an A class to an S class, or even more adventurous, buy a space station, buy a planet, just something to use this for to give end game players more incentive to carry on playing.
I see what you mean. They've done something close to that with the new upgrade modules, right? So each one of those modules is randomly generated with a bonus and a set of stats. So, once you install it, you can't change that set of stats. And of course, they're all randomly, rotated through all the different stats and so on. So, I mean, you can keep spending your nanites by constantly buying new tech and deleting and reinstalling until you find a favorable statistics for each one of those components. So nanites, they've sort of given nanites a continuous lifespan where you need to keep earning them so that you can keep spending them on more tech.
To a point. Because once you've upgraded your gun to the point you like it, then you're done. Then nanites do become kind of obsolete.
Yeah, once you find the stats, so there's not much left you can do with it unless you trade, break it down and start over again with a new component or whatever. But there's a lot of tech. There's like 50 components for each module of tech, and they're all randomly generated. Their stats. They've done something good with the nanites. The units, again, you can just keep buying ships, and you just almost never run out of units because it's so easy to make units again, right?
Even resources too. Yeah.
But perhaps what they need to do is lower the amount of units that you earn to make it a little bit more of a grind to reach the end. But then again, then make it more grindish.
Yes,
it's kind of a game, and we don't really want that. It slows things down. That's a really tough one. Where do you draw the line?
Well, what do you think of this?
Good question.
If you were to take, like you say, if they were to dial it back a bit on the units that you could make, right? So that's a little more grindy, but then implement something like a daily reward, like a login reward. So we're making less money now for the things that we do, but there are certain games that do this. MMOs usually do this. If you log into the game every day, for 5 days straight, at the end of those 5 days, maybe they give you a bundle of nanites, or they give you a bundle of units or something like that. It would also help feed that addiction to want to play No Man's Sky, because you want to log in every day. I talk about Elder Scrolls a lot because it's a game that I've played a lot of. And I'm only bringing it up because they've done that recently. They've added a system where if you log in every day for like 7 days straight, at the end of that week, they'll give you a little bundle of something. It's either weapons or things you can sell, or maybe a bag of cash, something like that. If you miss a day, you kind of start over again, and you have to log in each day. I think the weeklies in No Man's Sky are a great reason for people to come back every Thursday. But I think they should implement something in the game that should make people want to come back every day.
Yeah.
Like
basically, I agree.
Like crack dealers, like just get us,
a little simple reward. Yeah, a little simple reward. Some nanites, or component of tech. Maybe they give away technology.
Yeah,
who knows? There could be a random box, right? You open up a box.
It could be something
like
worthless.
War Thunder.
But people would do it
for something.
Yeah, people would do it, or just like some customization options or something like that. A new helmet,
decal, helmet, paint. Who knows?
Something that just makes you want to log in every day, even if it's only for 10 minutes. I gotta get my No Man's Sky time in today because I want to make sure I get my weekly reward at the end of the week. Something like that.
I wouldn't want. Yeah, the danger of that is it seems on the part of Hello Games to do that. It's you know what I mean? It's almost
you
a
get
bit. Like,
you can get caught in a trap of people log in just to get the reward and then just don't actually play the game. They just come to collect the reward and then play when they feel like playing or when they have enough of the rewards that they've earned by just logging on.
True.
That's always a tough one. You know, how far do you go? What kind of rewards do you give? How do you keep people playing and collecting those rewards? So, I mean, you want them to be able to use those rewards to continue playing.
Yeah, and as you say, if it's an incidental sort of gift like a decal or something that's not going to break your game or make you overpowered or anything like that, then I mean
just a fun bonus.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, just a fun little bonus, like you say, like an extra statue or something like that. You know, just something that you can show the community. Hey, I got it. You know, I'm a hardcore player. You know.
Yeah.
But I think that is all the time we've got for today. I mean, the three of us, oh my God, we can talk No Man's Sky for another hour, wow. I think. But and I think we should do this again. We should have another call-in show. I think it was great. Cap, you know, like you're super easy to talk to with No Man's Sky. You're just as passionate about the game as we are.
Oh, thank you.
And no, thanks for dialing in. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
I would
appreciate it. Yes.
I would like to end the show with a tweet that we got too from Gaming Grandpa 413, who just said that his favorite thing is the vastness of this game, and that he says this is what open world should be. And I think this is a nice way to end the show. This is what an open world should be. And I couldn't agree more, because it's not just an open world. It's open galaxies. It's open universes. You know what I mean? Like it's and like the game, like the universe, Hello Games is ever expanding it. They're making it bigger and bigger. Every month it seems. So I'm looking forward to what's in the future, and sharing it with all you guys.
Yeah.
Amen.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Giving the fans what they want, right? And that's what drives the game. Can't be happier with the game in the state it's in right now.
Yeah.
A few bugs, but they'll work on that. They always seem to get them fixed.
Yeah.
Praise Sean and praise his holy beard.
Yeah, I want to live in that beard. I just want to live in that beard and watch everything he does on a daily basis. I'd be a happy germ living in that thing.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Well, thanks again, Cap, and thanks everyone for chiming in the chat, and we'll have more people on again. This is a lot of fun. Thanks, Gaming Grandpa, for tweeting at us this morning as well. And if you're listening to the archive of this on YouTube, that is just because you are a wonderful person. So until next Monday, my friends, NMS is life, and we'll see you then.
Thanks, everyone. Till next time. Thanks for coming on the show, Cap.
Cheers, man.